Hey, it's Jad T. Jones, and welcome to the podcast. This podcast is a collection of conversations our fathers should have had with us. The reason I'm doing these podcasts is because if our fathers had taken the time to pass this knowledge down to us, it would have made our lives a lot easier and set us up to succeed a lot faster. So what we're doing now together is getting together as men and taking on the role of raising ourselves, because our fathers were absent for one reason or another, or they simply did not know how to pass their wisdom down to us. So today's topic is very important. It is generosity. In this podcast, we are going to explore why generosity is the common quality all successful men have. Every man who has been able to accumulate great abundance in his life has been a man who has operated out of generosity. I am also going to show you how being cheap, how not being generous, is actually one of the leading causes of poverty and failure in men's lives. So listen closely, because I promise you, this podcast is going to be a game changer. So let us start first by defining what is generosity. Generosity is giving freely, wanting all your interactions to be win-win, where you win and the other person wins. Generosity means living in service of your fellow man, having the intention to serve the people around you, having the genuine desire to make other people's lives better. At its essence, generosity is love. What is love? To love is to give. A man who lives through the spirit of generosity is a man who lives through the spirit of service. And to serve another human being is to love, is to be loving towards another human being. So living through generosity is the same as living through a loving, giving energy. There is a saying that goes, love and do what you will. What this means is that when your actions are all backed by love, which means by service, which means by giving, then you can't go wrong. Your actions cannot breed negative outcomes. Now, before we go on, let us define what we mean by success inside of this conversation. Because I'm sure some of you listening are thinking right now, okay, Jad, but I see some really successful men who are evil, who are cheaters, who engage in win-lose transactions where they rip people off, but they end up being rich. So how we are going to define success in this conversation is we're going to say it's positive success, meaning you create abundance in your life, whether it's with money or in relationships or happiness or inner peace, in a way that benefits everyone. True success means you climbed the ladder in a way of integrity, where you left people better than you found them. You left a positive trail behind you, a positive legacy. You have inner peace with yourself because you did not wrong anyone. You do not have inner guilt. You do not have demons. You did not cheat your way to the top. You reached success through integrity. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about healthy success. So here's another powerful saying you probably want to memorize. Whatever you want in life, first give it. Whatever you want in life, first give it. So what does this mean? This is a very profound statement, so listen closely. The world is your mirror. It can only reflect to you what you first give out. If you want love in your life, you must first give out love. If you want attention from people, you must first give people attention. If you want to accumulate wealth, you first have to give. You have to be of service to the world in order to then receive the money. From the words of Earl Nightingale, you must put the wood in first before you can expect the heat. Too many people have the wrong mentality. They say, first give me the heat and then I shall put in the wood. The way life works, the way success works, is you must give first without any immediate expectation of return. You must live in service and give 10 times that which you wish to receive. Most people have the negative mindset of, oh, well, what's in it for me? Or, hey, if I'm not going to get paid right now, I'm not going to do anything. Or if, hey, if women aren't going to pay attention to me, then I'm not going to pay attention to women, and so forth. Well, the mistake these people are making is that the reason why women don't pay attention to them is because they are not giving attention to women. They are not being loving to women. They are not being of genuine service to women. And so they get a reflection. So they ignore women out of anger. And then guess what happens? The universe mirrors your actions. And so women ignore you back. So the underlying intention every successful man has is the intention of win-win. In all my dealings, I want to make sure that everything I do is a win-win, where I win and you win. I refuse to engage in any transaction that is win-lose, where I win and you lose, where I get the better end of the deal. The people with this win-lose mentality are the people who live in poverty. These are the men who fail at every turn, no matter how hard they work, because at the core, their intention is dishonest. Your underlying intentions determine your results. Let me say that again. Your underlying intentions determine your results. If you want to be a success in life, your intentions must be pure. Nothing can come from an apple seed but apples. Nothing can come from a poverty mindset but poverty. If you have the secret intention to always want to get the better end of the deal, rip people off, or trick people, then that impure intention is going to be reflected in your results. And if you're so ignorant to believe that you can get away with this, I will promise you that maybe in the short term you'll be able to trick people, but in the long term, you will end up a failure. Even a man who is able to cheat everyone and become a multimillionaire will ultimately end up a failure, because what will happen is he will reach his success and he will be in his big mansion, but because he is a dishonest, manipulative, guilt-ridden fraud, he will have no healthy relationships in his life and he will be desperately lonely. Not only will he be lonely, but he will be filled with self-loathing. He will not have peace. He will not be able to look himself in the mirror because he knows all the bad things he did. And what happens with manipulative people? Number one, they hate themselves. Number two, they can never have peace. And number three, the people around them, sooner or later, figure out that that person is manipulative, and then they move away from him. And so you cannot cheat the system. You can cheat man for a while, but you cannot cheat the laws of the universe. The universe will reflect back to you what you give out. It will reflect your intention. You see, it's counterintuitive. Most people think, if I give everything away, I'm going to have less. But the truth is, the more you give, the more you receive. The formula for abundance is to be a giver, to be generous. Remember, the world is your mirror. It can only give you back what you first put out. And so here's how I want you to think about this. The more things you give out, if every act of generosity is 1 unit, well, if you spend a year giving out 500 units of generosity without asking anything in return, that is now 500 virtual objects that the universe can now reflect back to you. And that is where the saying comes from, to give is to receive. To give is to receive. What that means is that when you give, you are creating a reflection. You are creating a unit out there in the universe to be reflected back to you. The universe can only reflect back to you. That's all it can do. And so when you see a man who has created an abundance of beautiful relationships, beautiful possessions, successful business, whatever it is, love in his life, he has done that by first giving those things out, being those things first, and then eventually the universe reflected those things back to him. So now I want to change pace a little bit and talk to you about a pet peeve that I have and something that constantly disappoints me when I meet my fellow men. And often this also happens when I meet some of my followers. Let's say, I'm in a city. They're like, hey, Jad, I follow you on YouTube. You want to go for lunch? You want to go for a drink or something? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So the guys meet me and then they come and they're like, hey, Jad, thank you so much. You helped me so much in my life. I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I'm thinking, wow, thanks, man. Right? And then we go and we have a drink. And then number one, they don't even offer me a drink. It's like, I helped you. You said that I helped you in your life. I made a difference. And then you don't even buy me a drink. And then the check comes. And then not only do they not offer me a drink, but then I see that they don't tip or they leave a very small tip. And so at that moment, I get very disappointed. I get very sad because I know, wow, this guy doesn't get it, right? If someone helped you in your life, the least you can do is buy him a $5 drink. And another thing about being a man is when you're around people and they see that you're cheap, well, that disconnects them from you because that's showing a big fault in your character, because that is telling the people around you, oh, you're just about yourself. You're only after yourself. You don't care about me. You don't care about anyone else. You're just with me because you want to extract something from me, but you're not with me because you want to give something to me. You're not here to contribute to my life, to make my life better. You did not come to this meeting with that pure intention to leave me better than you found me, to come contribute something to me. Instead, you probably just came to meet me for your own egotistical, selfish reasons. So when you don't buy me a drink, when you don't leave a tip, that's telling me that you're in life for yourself, not for me. And it's not because I expect someone to buy me lunch or buy me a drink. It's not that at all. But your actions reveal your intentions. Through your actions, I will know what your intentions are. There's a great saying. It says, by their fruits you shall know them. By their fruits you shall know them. That means look at a man's overall life results and you will know his secret intentions. You will know his secret thoughts. If a man is a failure in life, you know that his thoughts are impure. You know that he's in it for himself. You know that he is not living in service of his fellow man. You know that he is not engaging in win-win transactions with other people. You know that he is not giving 10 times. He is only giving the minimum. All those things are revealed in your results. And so my advice to you, whenever, and this is a rule of mine, whenever I meet someone who has helped me or someone I admire or even my friends that I haven't seen for a long time, I make it a point to invite them out, to buy them dinner, to do something for them, to show my appreciation, to give them something, to leave them with an impression of increase, to leave them better than they found them, to be of service to them. So don't be cheap, all right? Being cheap is a poverty mindset. Being cheap is the hallmark of a man who lives in poverty. And if you're cheap in front of women, that is the biggest turnoff as well. And another thing, a simple gesture of, let's say I took the time to meet up with you. You said that I was a big help to you and you didn't buy me a drink. That's it. Now you're in my black book, right? Now I crossed you off. Now I lost respect for you because I know what your intentions are. Maybe you're not even aware of them, but you cannot come into a relationship. Real men, here's what successful people do. People who are not rich, they wonder why rich people only hang out in private country clubs and only hang around with each other. The reason why rich people mostly only hang around with other rich people is because they're generous and they are always meeting each other with the question, how may I serve you? How may I help you? Went into a country club or went and asked two rich guys who are friends. If you asked about the details of their relationship, what will be revealed to you is they help out each other a lot and very often. Successful men live in service of each other, and they do not wait for the other person to ask, but rather they come in and say, how can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I do to make your life better? And so if you're cheap, if you think you're outsmarting people, if you think, I'm gonna let them grab the bill, I'm just gonna pay a bit, or oh, there's a group of 10 people, let them cover the tip. No one's gonna know that I only left $5 instead of $7 to cover my half of the tip. People do that all the time. I see them. It's rampant. It's so common. It makes me sick. Don't be that guy, okay? I'd rather you cover someone else's tip rather than not give a tip or be cheap. If you're cheap, you are not mature. Generosity is the hallmark of maturity, of a real man. To be of service is to be mature. If you are cheap, that means you have not graduated into manhood, and it is no accident, no wonder why you are still bumping up against an invisible wall, why you're still in poverty, and why you're not meeting with success. So, a quick message, don't be cheap. Don't be cheap, bro. You're only hurting yourself. You're not outsmarting anyone. You're just fooling yourself. Okay, and the final topic is, some of you are going to say, okay, yeah, Jad, but if I give and give and give, what if people take advantage of me? This is a very valid question, so let's explore it. The answer is very simple, all right? Your job is not to worry about other people, all right? If you're giving towards someone and you see that they're starting to take advantage of you, the formula is simple. Move away from them. Don't serve them. All right. They have a poverty mindset. They have a win-lose mindset where they want to win while other people lose. You just turn your back and leave. They did you a favor. They showed you their true character. Thank you very much. Now you can move on. All right. The people who deserve to be served are the people who remain humble, who remain grateful, and who also come back and say, hey, thanks for everything you've done for me. What can I do for you? And so I want to leave you with two missions right now. Mission number one is I'm going to ask for an act of generosity from you to help me, and I'm not going to offer you anything in return. And the request is this: please share my podcast with 3 of your friends. Okay? Be of service to me. Give me something without asking anything of return. This is the best way you can show your gratitude towards me. And your second mission is take a piece of paper and write down 3 things that you want in your life that you currently don't have or don't have enough of. And then write down all the ways you're going to start giving those things so that you can create those units of generosity that the universe will be able to reflect back to you. So remember, whatever you want in life, first give it. This is Jad T. Jones. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow.